Welcome to another financially fabulous episode. I'm Limor, and I gotta tell you, you do not need to be a financial planner to be crushing it with your finances. I'm not. Let me show you what I've learned. In today's episode, I'll be talking about how to break the ice in talking with your finances with someone new that you're dating. Come on, this'll be fabulous. So you're dating somebody new and you really like them. You're having a great time. You're starting to fall in love. You're in that honeymoon phase, but you've got this little sense inside of you that you actually need to talk to them about your finances. And that's the right little itch you should be having. It is so critical. You probably know that almost half of marriages in both Canada and the US end up in divorce. And finances is cited as a big cause or a contribution to that. So if you're ready to talk to someone about your finances, and this can be really early on, even just a few dates or a couple of months of dating, what I suggest is that you set up a special money date. Don't do it at home. Do it at some sort of neutral, fun location, maybe at a bar, maybe at a coffee shop, but make sure that it's not a super busy public place so you can at least have some conversation and a little bit of privacy. And on the date, there's two different ways that you can approach talking about your finances. One, if you decide you're going to be straight shooters, you're going to share everything with each other right up front. Number two is if you start to take things a little bit more slowly and a little bit more gently. Regardless of which are the two ways you want to go about this, turn it into a fun game. Make it an activity. Say it's this thing you learned from this girl online. It'll definitely take the pressure off. So if you're both straight shooters, no BS, no nonsense kind of people, you're going to get right to the serious questions right away. So when you set up this date, and you can even send them a cute little invite, it could be a fun little thing to do. Bring with you a set of Post-it notes and some pens. And you can go through the questions. You can take turns either creating the questions or you can use the questions that I've created for you in the downloadable below. And the first question might be like, what is your income? You both have some Post-it notes. You both write it down. You say 1, 2, 3, and you slap them down on the table. Then you both know at the same time it's totally even and you can talk about it. You can go through a series of straight shooting questions like, how much debt do you have? What's in your savings? How do you feel about debt? And then you just know. You've broken the barrier and you can get going. Now, for most people, even if you are kind of a bit of a straight shooter in your personal life, this can be a really uncomfortable or awkward area to talk about with someone that you're dating. So what I recommend generally more so than the straight shooter approach is the same kind of idea, but the questions are a lot gentler. So, for example, question number 1 can be, debt is, and then you both fill it out on your Post-it note. And then you have a conversation about what debt is to you. Question number 2 might be, money makes me feel. Then you both fill in that line, and then you talk about it. Another 2 ideas are, if I have an extra $100, I would, or my first memory of money is. And in the downloadable below, I've got a long list that you can take with you on your date. You can also make up your own questions, but it starts really getting the ball rolling and you start to have that conversation. Another way that you can go about getting the ball rolling about talking about money is if you start to bring in some sort of third-party scenarios. So, you can talk to the new person you're dating and say, hey, this girl at work was telling me that she's struggling to pay her rent every single month. What do you think about that? And that way the conversation is not necessarily about you and your finances, but getting to the root of how they feel about their finances and how they feel about money. You'll get a sense for some of their values and it can maybe pave the way for some of these more complicated questions to be answered. Then, as a couple, especially if you're starting to get a little bit more serious, plan a shared goal together, even if it's something as simple as taking a weekend trip away. Work together to develop a little mini budget that says hotel's going to cost this, transportation's going to cost that, some meals and entertainment are going to cost this, and then you can save up together, checking in, saying, oh, how are you doing on your half? And as a result, it can feel like a fun experience, and it can be a really great way for a couple to feel a bit more united when they've got a shared goal, particularly around their finances. That brings me to today's Tweetable. Don't let your relationship fall apart because of financial conversation that you could have had. I know it can feel so awkward and so uncomfortable, especially if you're dating someone that you think, we don't really have a future together. I would actually venture to say, if you don't think you have a future together, why not go there? Have a great practice conversation, and this can be great so that you're ready to go and less awkward and more comfortable for when someone amazing really comes along. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to set a money date with the new person that you're dating. And if you've been dating for a long time, or if you're even engaged or married and you haven't had a money date, you're not talking about this stuff, go ahead and set up a date. Decide which is the right approach for you and have the questions and the post-it notes ready to go so you can turn this into a fun game and make something awkward something really fabulous. Don't forget to access the free downloadable below. I've included a list of questions that are both straight shooters and those gentler questions to get you going. So print it out, take it with you on your date, and you'll be well on your way. And I'd love it if you would leave a comment when you come back, letting me know how the progress went and how the conversation went. Did you like this video? Did you learn something? Subscribe to my channel, it's free, and then share it with your friends. And if you want even more tips and tricks to make your finances fun and exciting, come on over to limor.money. I've got lots of great resources there available for you. Remember, I'm not here to change who you are or how you live your life. I just have strategies to make you even more financially fabulous. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Till then, stay fabulous. I got so many questions. Gonna take forever to answer them.